This show happens because of Web Central, creators of beautifully effective websites and online marketing solutions for small businesses, just like yours. You can grab an exclusive listener deal over at webcentral.com.au/Timbo. And we can also thank Design Crowd for their support, the world's #1 custom design marketplace, where you can get a design you love guaranteed or your money cheerfully refunded. You'll find an exclusive VIP offer, which can save you up to $100 off your first brief, waiting for you over at designcrowd.com/Timbo.
Look, every bugger's after my dollar. Every service station, every supermarket, the Great Ocean Road, the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Byron Bay, every bugger's after my dollar. If I just sit on my arse and expect people to give me money, I am bloody silly and I bloody look. I got to get out there and peddle like buggery.
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
And welcome back to another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, Australia's #1 marketing podcast. Wow, how was that for a start, hey? I am your host, Timbo Reid, but you, infinitely more importantly, are a motivated business owner. You're ready to crank out some great marketing, and that is what we do around here. So thanks for joining me. Maybe it's your first time around. Maybe it's your 280th time around. Well done for coming back. Hey, I've got a big show today and a long show. I think it could be the longest episode I've ever put together of the Small Business Big Marketing Show, but I can promise you it will be worth every second of your time that you give to me, and boy, oh boy, do I appreciate that. Now, up the top there, that was Tom O'Toole, founder of the Beechworth Bakery, Australia's most iconic bakery. And he's going to remind us all about the good old-fashioned skill of customer service, plus so much more. And boy, oh boy, does he present it in an interesting way. More on that shortly. I share another low-cost marketing idea for you to implement immediately in our new segment, lovingly called What Have You Got to Lose? Great feedback on that last week. And we revisit a past episode in which Australia's #1 ranked residential real estate agent shared how he's created an extraordinary business. As per usual, team, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in. Righto, coming up, we hear from the infamous Tom O'Toole, Australia's most famous baker, who's going to just take us behind the scenes of how he's built an extraordinary business. And boy, oh boy, does he present it in an amazing way. But first, let's see what this button does. What have you got to lose? Oh, that's a good button. That means it's time for me to share one simple yet effective marketing idea that you can go and implement immediately. An idea that won't cost a fortune, if anything, to implement, and that might just generate you more awareness, more inquiry, and ultimately more sales. We've got to love that, right? Hey, had some great feedback from last week's idea, which involved simply making 5 phone calls a day. Listener and past guest Nick May from Colorado hit me up on Facebook, having implemented the idea immediately. Like, he took action immediately. That's what I love about you guys. And he posted the results on the show's Facebook. Here's what he said. Timbo, I reconnected with a new industry partner. I got in touch with 2 referrers that send me a lot of work, and one invited me to speak to their next at their next staff meeting. I need to do this once a week, he says. Well done, Nico. I love your work, mate. I would suggest doing it once a day, actually, making those 5 phone calls, but I digress. Let's talk about today's idea, which is to check out Google's related searches, which appear at the bottom of the search results page when you perform a search. You scroll down the bottom, you'll find them. Basically, it's Google telling you what people also searched for based on your current search. And it's a great way to generate relevant, helpful content ideas. So, for example, I just did a search for how do I clean my carpet? I then scrolled down to the bottom of the search results page on page 1, and Google have offered up another 8 related searches, including how to clean my carpet without a machine and how to steam clean my carpet. So if I ran a carpet cleaning business, I'd then start creating helpful content that answered these frequently searched questions. Get it? Do it well, and you'll find your website rankings improve exponentially. There you go. So what have you got to lose? Okay, where do I start? Firstly, let me remind you who Tom O'Toole is. I first had Tom on this show about 5 years ago on episode 91, where he shared a very personal story of growing up in extreme poverty to becoming one of Australia's great small business success stories. Now, Tom is best known for creating Australia's most successful standalone retail bakery business. It employs 255 staff, turns over in excess of $17 million a year, and serves over 1 million customers a year. How amazing is that? And it's only in Victoria. His bakeries are scattered throughout regional Victoria, actually, not even in the big smoke. And as Tom openly admits, they're not a whole lot different to most other bakeries. What is different is Tom's approach to his people and how they go about offering good old-fashioned customer service. And that's what Tom shares in this 1-hour keynote that he delivered at a conference that I emceed last week. So this is an interview. This is not an interview with Tom. This is Tom going 100 miles an hour for an hour. And by the way, a big thanks to DaveShearman.com for getting me this audio. He was the video audio guy at the conference. Thanks, Dave. Now, some things to note. Tom's presentation style is completely unorthodox. He's high energy. In fact, he yells at times. He stutters as he drives a point home, and he doesn't hold back with his language team. So if there are kids within earshot, now might be a good time to get out the Lego or Playdough. Get out the Playdough. I love the smell of Playdough. It reminds me of when I was a kid. I digress. What you also need to know is that he's referencing slides as he talks. So sometimes you might be wondering what he's referring to. And added to this, his clicker, which he calls the mouse, wasn't working for him. But don't worry, it will all make sense in the end. I was actually in two minds as to whether to share this with you or not, as at times he kind of bounces from pillar to post, going from one topic to another at absolute breakneck speed. But it somehow all comes together in the end. And he has this rare ability to inspire change without audiences even realising it until they walk out, feeling really energised and raring to go. And that's certainly what I experienced when Tom was presenting this keynote last week. You want to see him in action, you can check out a three-minute video highlights reel over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/336. So, strap in for what is a wild ride, I've got to tell you, with Australia's most famous baker as he lifts the lid on how he goes about customer service, marketing, team culture, and getting outside of your comfort zone. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. Tom O'Toole.
I am a baker. What have we got? I'm a baker. What have we got a bakery here for? I've been sitting here. It's all been covered. I may as well go home. Look, I am a baker. That's my comfort zone, in a bakehouse. That's where I do my best work. Look, I am no big-time bloody businessman or a guru, but I'm a kindergarten dropout. I failed kindergarten, and these buggers have got me along here to make them look good. So, look, if I upset anybody today, if I'm politically incorrect or I happen to swear, look, I apologise. I'm sorry. Pray for me. Don't sit there getting bloody resentful. Pray for me. Just remember, that's where I do my best work. Look, I was not always a grey-haired old bugger. I'm the guy on that side. I've been in the baking game a long time. I turned 21 up in Armandland. I was up there teaching tribal Aboriginals to bake bread. And Jim always used to call me Bomber. And after about 6 months, I said to Jim, what does Bomber mean? He says, you're mad. I was the only guy in a government settlement in a hurry. But I changed my name when I was up there. I used to be called Tom O'Toole, but I got sick of being called Dickhead and Shovel, and I changed it to Tom O'Toole. Best $23 I ever spent. But O'Toole means the son of Toole. I'm the son of Toole. My father's from Ireland. I was born in Australia. But my brothers, they're still Tools. They're still Tools. I met that lady sitting down the back there. She knows me, brother. He's a Toole. But anyway, look, I'm still in business today, and it's far from perfect. So today you take what you want and leave the rest. I haven't got all the bloody answers. I'm a baker. That's my comfort. So what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about customer service. I'm going to talk about customer service. No, I'm not talking about customer. I'm going to talk about keep in touch with your dreams. Oh God, this thing's anyway. Talk about the mic playing up, this little bloody mouse or whatever. Keep in touch. Look, I had a dream I wanted to be rich. Now, look, I was brought up in poverty. Anyone who'll tell you that it's spiritual, living in poverty, it's bullshit. There's nothing spiritual about living in poverty. Much more spiritual to employ people, put food on the tables. But I've heard all this here today, But I did fail kindergarten. I hung around in primary school until I got too big for the desk, and they had to send me to high school. And I got to high school and they said to me, what can you do? And my younger brother, he was already in high school. He's only a year younger than me, but he got there a year before me. But anyway, he's still a tool though. But anyway, they said, what can you do? I said, I can daydream. I got Asian daydreaming. They didn't put on a report or nothing. But when I left school at 14, I didn't know the ABC or times table. I still do not know the ABC or times table today. But, I thought I met a lot of dream takers at school, but I went into my first business, a bakery, when I was 21. After I'd finished up in Armandland, I went into my first business in Yarrawonga and in Victoria, and I started to meet a lot of real dream takers, like bank managers and accountants, probably a couple of them bubbles here today. A lot of me mates said, who do you think you are going into business? You're up yourself. There's heaps of dream takers out there who'll tell you it can't be done. And sometimes we're married to them too. Don't let anyone steal your day. Don't let anyone steal your day. Keep in touch with your dreams. Let's hope this bloody works. Beechworth. Where's bloody hell's Beechworth? That's where I live, in Beechworth. Beechworth on a road to nowhere up near Albury, Wodonga. There's somebody here from Albury. 3 hours from Melbourne. Population a bit over 3,000 people. And we are credited with having the highest sales for any standalone retail bakery in Australia. There's a couple others doing better, but the taxation department doesn't know about it. But Beechworth... Years ago, Beechworth was very famous for its lunatic asylum and Ned Kelly in the jail, and they're all bloody gone today. When I went there 32 years ago, you didn't say, I'm going for a drive to Beechworth, because if you were, you're going to visit your mad auntie or somebody else locked up. It was a government town, it was an institution town, and it was dying. That was my shop 32 years ago. That was the state of most of the shops in Beechworth 32 years ago. When I went there, the bank manager said, Tom, you're bloody mad, this town's dying, we going, and the bank went. And my accountant come over from Perth. I'd been in business over there for 6 years in the baking game. And he was horrified. He said, Tom, you're over-capitalising in a town that's dying. You're bloody mad. Today they think I'm a guru, but 32 years ago, bloody hell. When I bought the place, it employed 2 part-time people. Neither of them on the books. Today, we have about 255 today. But anyway, don't worry about that today. But when I bought it, it was falling down. It was mouse infested. It was rat infested. It even had this friendly possum that lived in the bakehouse. Now, we'd get this bloody possum and we'd take it out in the bush. And 2 days later, you'd walk in and this possum would be sitting on the bench eating all the pasty vegetables. We couldn't get rid of the possum until the Chinese restaurant opened up down the road. There was the end of the bloody possum. Truly, we don't have a stray cat, dog, nothing around the bloody place, Bloody oath. 32 years ago when I went there, if you seen a car parked on the street on Sunday morning, you wondered who got locked up or who got laid. Today you're lucky to get a park there today. Today, it's a very vibrant tourist town, and the Beechworth Bakery and Tom O'Toole gets a lot of the credit. But we were just there at the right time. Today we have 6 Beechworth bakeries. We have a Beechworth Bakery in Bendigo. People say, how can you have a Beechworth Bakery in Bendigo? Well, we have a Bendigo Bank in Beechworth, we do. Adios. We do. We're Bendigo Bank in Beechworth. We have a Beechworth Bakery in Echuca, a Beechworth Bakery in Hillsville, a Beechworth Bakery in Ballarat. I don't trust this bloody thing. A Beechworth Bakery in Albury. And, when I bought that business 32 years ago, it was turning over 100,000 turnover for the year. Today, in excess of 15 million cash over the counter. I like cash. We don't do any wholesale. We don't supply to schools, hospitals, or no one. If anyone wants 20% discount, I want to cut out 20% of the ingredients. People say to me, "Oh, Tom, money's not that important." You reckon money's not important? You try bloody digging a well. You try running your schools or your hospitals, your churches without bloody money. It's up there with air and water, I reckon. But anyway, I'm in business to make money. I'm not embarrassed about it. Money gives me choices. Money gives me options. I love the choices. I love the options. But anyway, I don't trust them. Oh, shit. My product is no different than anybody else's. We've got no secret herbs and spices. It's our people. It's our people that make the difference. It's our people. It's our people. And our brand and 10,000 other things, but it's mainly our people. But, every week for years and years and years, we've had people checking out our business. This crowd from South Africa are checking out our business. This is only 3 weeks ago. This is a girl from Scotland. They've got 13 bakeries over in Scotland. And they all want to know. They come and check us out and say, "How come these buggers are desperate to give you money? What do you do? What do you do?" I says, "Well, we do a lot of training." They said, but what if you train them and they leave? And I said, what if you don't train them and they stay? And that's what lots of us do in the baking game. We don't train them and the buggers stay. And they say, "Oh, yeah, it's all right for you, Tom. You've got the time. You've got the money." It's not lack of time. It's not lack of money. It is lack of focus. It is lack of priority. What you think about expands. If you're thinking lack of time, lack of money, lack of opportunity, that's what you're going to get. What? SHIT, simply how I think. You've got to think positive. Don't think lack of. SHIT, simply how I think. Don't think lack of. Don't think lack of. God, I've heard it here today. In every disaster lies an opportunity. There was a disaster in March 32 years ago. I bought this business and I was going to build a little storeroom out the back of the bakery. And we started to dig the footings. We hit an old cellar, had to dig this cellar out. Cost me a bloody fortune, 3 truckloads of cement. And the builder said to me, "Tom, if you ever got to go 2 stories or 6 stories, the footings are there." Well, luckily today, it's all 2 stories. And every disaster, there's a disaster, not my 2 little daughters, but in June 32 years ago, a few months after March of 32 years ago, my wife left me with the kids. And when my wife left me, I fell madly in love with her. We often do some of our staff sometimes. Shit, they weren't that bad after all, Here I was, age 32. I had the arse out of my brains, wanting to die. I felt a failure. I tell you what, if you've ever stuck a loaded gun in your mouth, they're very cold and oily. Nothing like a sausage roll. I was low in the footprint. I wanted to die. I didn't think I had anything to live for. But I had 2 beautiful daughters. My wife had left me at the kids. She'd ran off with this big Fiji and I had no bloody hope. And somebody said, "You're going to have to grow up. These kids are going to beat you." I said, "Shit, what do I do with little buggers?" Anyway, somebody made me promise that I'd ring Lifeline. Now, I tell you what, if you're ever suicidal, don't ring Lifeline. The buggers won't get off the phone. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Lifeline. Anyway, this counsellor encouraged me to come down to Albury to see her at Jenny Willis. And I went down there and this counsellor said, "Tom, where have you been? How long you been there and where are you going?" I said, "I'm going bloody mad. I'm going mad, you stupid bloody woman. That's why I'm seeing you." She said, "Where do you want to be then? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in 5 years' time?" Shit, I didn't know where I wanted to be in 5 years' time. I was too busy doing it. I'd never bloody clue where I wanted to be in 5 years. She said to me, "Tom, you've got to get honest with yourself." I said, "I'll go broke." She said, "No, you've got to get honest with yourself." Didn't know what she bloody meant. Here I was at age 32. I had to do the biggest investment of my life. I had to start investing in me. I had to start to go to seminar. I had to learn to talk to people. I had to learn to read books. I had to learn to work on my business as well as in my business. This counsellor said to me, "Tom, when do you find it most difficult?" I said, "At 6 o'clock. She said, "What are you doing at 6 o'clock? I said, "I'm trying to get the kids their dinner. I'm trying to watch the news and the kids make noise and I get so angry, so upset." She said, "Well, stop watching the news then." Well, I had to watch the news. She said, Tom, stop watching the news. So I stopped watching the news 32 years ago. If I happen to see the news today, it's the same bloody news I was watching 32 years ago. It's the same rapes, wars, murders, crashes, smashes on Nemo, Petrobras, Intra, all this doom and gloom. You know, somebody come into your lounge room, crapped on your lounge room floor, you'd either ring the police or you belt them. Yet here we are, let the idiot box full of lounge room full of the shit. You know, you become what you study. Study happiness, study wealth, study success. Don't study doom and gloom and lack of. In every disaster lies an opportunity. That was the biggest disaster of my life, my wife leaving me. Also, it was the best thing that ever happened. I didn't think so at the time, but I got a newer model. Adios. Oh, new model. Oh, geez, I tell you. Oh, talk about every disaster. A few years ago now, the government announced they were closing the lunatic asylum in Beechworth. Well, it was called Mayday Hills Hospital, but you didn't go there for ingrown toenails, I can tell you. And they shut the asylum, and we lost hundreds of jobs in Beechworth. So as a community, we got together and we got into tourism. And one of our first festivals, we had about 1,200, maybe 1,500 at that festival. Today at that festival, we get thousands of the buggers. And yet I hear the same comments, or some of the shopkeepers, same comments last year as I did the year before, nearly word for word. Oh, the buggers don't spend any money in my shop. All they're doing is making a bloody mess, taking me car spaces, blocking me driveway. I'm sure God looks at them and says, here, give yourself something else to bitch about, you buggers. They wallow in it. Look, it is so easy to be negative. Requires no bloody effort at all. But to be positive, you've got to get off your bum and have a go. I hear people saying, but Tom, it's hard. You reckon it's bloody hard? Go to Bangladesh, go to Bosnia, go to East Timor. You know, I was over in East Timor. I've been in East Timor many times. It's hard. People said, Tom, you don't understand, Tom. I'm having a bad day. You reckon you're having a bad day? Try bloody missing one. You know, any day above ground's a good one. You know, we live in the luckiest country in the world. Yet I hear people saying it's hard. You know, 7 years ago I was asked to go over to East Timor to set up a bakery school. Now, I am no saint. I'm not going out there and save the bloody world. So don't. Anyway, I have a learning difficulty. I'm dyslexic, and they told me I was dumb at school. So when you're dumb, you don't have to do things. So, like I said, I got too big for the desk in primary school, and they had to say, "Oh God." Anyway, so when you're dyslexic, you always got to be married, or you got to have a couple of mates. And I got a couple of mates to come with me over to East Timor. Graham Heaven from Napier in New Zealand, and Ralph from Melbourne, and it was all too hard. The official language in East Timor is Portuguese. Only 5% of the people speak it. All the bureaucracy and the corruption, it was all too bloody hard. And we had Anne from the Australian Embassy showing us around. And we said, look, Anne, we're going. This is all too difficult. And she said, Tom, look, I've just been told the nuns up near the airport have all this bakery equipment. I said, no, we're going. She said, come up and have a look. Well, so we thought, oh, what's it? We'd been, oh, God. This is going back 7 years ago. A lot of trouble over there in East Timor. And we went up there, met Sister Paula. They had this brand new equipment from the Spanish government. Get nothing off the Spanish government today. I think they're broke. But anyway, and we said to her, you set that up. We'll come over there and set up a bakery. And we did. I've been over there 7 times. And you know, when we left there a couple of years ago, they're doing 150 bread rolls a day. Today, they're doing in excess of 2,000 bread rolls a day. They built a shop in the convent wall. So if you're over in East Timor, just near the airport, there's a big roundabout right near the airport, and you'll find that bakery there. And it is supporting 2 orphanages, this bakery, and it's still going well. I've got to get back over there again. They don't have occupational health and that over there. Training 23 young people. Now, Abelina, she's going to be a nun. Minya was, but she got a boyfriend. She getting none, but anyway, and we come and brought him out to the Beechworth Bakery for 3 weeks. Now that guy's name's Alan Small. Alan Small. And great bakers. Show these guys once and they learn. Show them once. Show my guys 10 times, they still don't bloody get it. But they have no idea about customer service. No idea. But, I was asked to set up a bloody bakery in Camp in Uganda, in Kampala, in Uganda, and in the Kumi district, 8 hours out of Kampala. Now, I wanted me 2 mates to come. They said, we're not going to Uganda. Too many bloody guns, too many guns. Anyway, somebody had built this oven there at a leprosy. It's an AIDS hospital there now, and they reckon to make a great bakery. It had never been used, but anyway, I got me mates to come. So they'd met somebody from Uganda. They said, "Oh, you got to go." And now Graham Heaven. Could you imagine this guy staying in the convent in East Timor? The nuns had never been so close to heaven in their life. This guy had his own room. Now he got in a couple of bad habits. That guy did, but. They're not all pure, but Graham Heaven, the nuns, I tell you what, they were smiling. I tell you what, never been so close to heaven in their bloody life. We ended up producing bread. What a God job. Look at that. That bakery is still going. That bakery is still bloody going. Now, that is supporting 2 orphanages. 80 kids in this orphanage, 80 kids in that orphanage, 36, I think, in the other one. And that's the whole kitchen that feeds the 80 kids and everyone who works there. Now, she's a volunteer, that lady. She's a volunteer, and she is smart. That is it. Now, there's a whole story, but look, these people are very grateful. These people are very grateful to have a job. There's no Centrelink over there. They don't have dole, or they don't have bloody much at all. These people are very, very grateful. They were great to work with, but I'm no bloody saint. But, back to the Beechworth Bakery. Today, my business runs on a management structure instead of a dictatorship. Now, dictatorships made me a lot of money. I love dictatorships. I know they're in a bit of trouble at the moment. Anyway, they'll have these business meetings. They don't often tell me when they're having them. And I'll come in, I'll say, what are these figures about? Look at all this. What's this? Tom, you don't understand, Tom. You're thick as a brick, Tom. You're thick as 2 bricks. You don't understand. Tom, the council's been building a roundabout. We have 1 roundabout in Beechworth, 1 roundabout. Anyway, and the road's been blocked for 2 weeks, Tom. 2 supermarkets selling bread, Tom, for $1 a loaf. It's too hot, Tom. It's too hot for cream cakes. Too hot for pies. Too hot. Bullshit. Anytime I got problems in my business, it's always within my 4 walls. But it's so easy to look out there and blame the council, blame head office, blame Josh. He's pretty you. He doesn't run the show anyway. I can see that. Anyway, blame Malcolm. Blame Tony. You can't blame Tony anymore. But anyway, anytime I got problems in my business, I tell you what, if I ever want to find the biggest problem in my business, all I got to do is look in the mirror and I'll find the biggest problem that I'm ever going to have to work with staring me in the face. Much easier to look out there and blame some other bugger, though. I look out behind every successful man, there's a surprise mother-in-law. A couple of years later, I got another hostage. Happily married today, 1 day at a time. Tuesday or whatever day, well, 2 days ago it wasn't one of them, I can tell you. Anyway, oh, jeez. My wife's my biggest asset, also my biggest liability. That's your biggest bloody business risk you'll ever see. Biggest business, don't worry about the competition. Half your money. Bloody oath. This one pisses off, I'm going with her. Bloody oath. Tell them you love them. I always hold a hand, I do. Always hold a hand. If I let go, she goes shopping. Bloody oath, you're not funny. Half your money, gone like that. Bloody oath. Oh, I tell you, you might think you wouldn't understand, I tell you. Bloody oath. I know, first wife. Anyway, my wife and I would travel a lot. I had to do a talk in Glasgow not long ago. Oh, God, they couldn't understand me. I couldn't understand them. It was great. But anyway, we travel a lot. This is a while ago, this one. I tell you what, we're going over to Glasgow and we're on Emirates, and they upgraded me to first class. I'll tell you what, wouldn't believe it. Anyway, but we were travelling to Bangkok on this one, and we were in business class, and the kids are down the back where they belong. And you know when you travel business class going overseas, they give you a drink of champagne or orange juice or water before you even leave the tarmac. And that's about the only time my wife smiled. Now, my wife is very placid, very quiet, never complains, but it was a trip from hell and she was not happy. And I had to sit with her for the next bloody 10 hours. Was not good. And she said to me, Tom, I'm never travelling on this airline ever again. She was not happy. Went out to see the kids down the back and they said, what are you talking about, bad service? You couldn't wish for better service. You guys are up yourself. Here we are all on the same plane, played a great air crew, we had a lousy one. It's all about people. Rule 1, take care of the customer. Rule 2, take care of the customer. Rule 3, take care of the customer. Just love them and they might love you back. You know, happy customers come back. How profound. I'm as sick as a brick, but happy customers come back. How profound. Give them a bloody reason to come back. Give them a reason. Give them a bloody reason to come back. Oh, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little bit extra. How often can we do that little bit extra and we don't bother? That return phone call, that smile, that thank you. It's the little things. It's the little things that make the big difference. Yet we're all out there looking for that big fix, that bloody rainbow up our arse. It's a little thing. It's like the bloody racehorse that wins. It gets 10 times more than money. Is it 10 times faster, 50 cents faster, 25? It's that tiny, little. It's a little. The difference between ordinary, who wants to be known as Mick Ordinary? It's that little bit extra, Oh, there's a little bit extra. Beechworth is the home of Emma George. Up until the Sydney Olympics, the world's woman pole vaulting champion. 17 world records. I was there on the night, the Sydney Olympics, when Emma didn't do that little bit extra. You just asked Emma, if you're not doing that little bit extra, your bloody history. Look at that, only when we continue to raise our goals, first you've got to have some goals and have them wrote down and dated. When I started to write down my goals and date them, changed my life, dramatically changed my life. You know, do we give ourselves room to grow? Keep lifting that bar. Keep lifting that bar. People says, why? Why not? Most success and failure in life is where we set that bar. Keep lifting that little bit extra, that 1% a week, that little bit extra, 52%, oh, that little bit extra. Oh, there's a little bit extra. We stick a band on the balcony every Sunday. Now, we never take under $10,000 cash over the counter on a Sunday. Now, our average sales is $8.20 or something. We sell lamingtons and meat pies. It's that little bit. We've taken up to $35,000 cash over the counter in one day in Beechworth, that little bit extra. Also, people think, shit, how do you get up there? It's that little bit extra, Oh, there's a little bit extra. We stick Keith McIntosh sampling in the shop at least once a week. Now, you reckon I talk dribble? Keith leaves me for dead. I have people ringing me up and asking me, when is Keith sampling? Now, they don't want to come and give it a bread, a bit of pastry. They want to come in and talk to Keith. I've been in business since I was 21. I know the greatest sickness in this world today is loneliness. My business is about people. You can buy coffee and cake anywhere. Why buy from my place? Because of these buggers. 5% technology, 95% psychology and attitude. Without them, I don't have a bloody show at all. And other people say, oh, my business is different. My business is about price. You know, quality and service is long remembered after the price is forgotten. Don't get tied up in bloody price. It's just another excuse you're using, you slackers. I'm in business to serve the customer. I'm a servant and I love it. I'm in business to serve the customer. But we forget. We get so tied up in spreadsheets and flow charts and data and Google and all this shit and we forget that all the customer wants is look at me, greet me, talk to me, thank me. So bloody simple. I'm in business to serve the customer. As long as I don't forget that, I'm going to keep making money. Just look at me, greet me, talk to me, thank me. You got to keep close to the customer. That is, if you want to be a customer-driven business, you got to make it a priority. You've got to keep close to the customer. That is, if you want to be customer-driven. August is our second quietest month. February is our quietest. And in August we have Kingdom Month. So every day through August, and we do it lots of other days throughout the year, but every day through August we have a Kinder group in. They make a biscuit. The biscuit's in the oven at the moment. Then they all make a loaf of bread and they got to take it home and grandma's got to have a bit, dad's got to take some to work. When mum goes to buy the bread in Safeway, no, we want the Beechworth Bakery. It's their bakery. It's their bakery. Where the kids will go, mum will follow. The greatest asset that any business, that any community can have is these little buggers. They're my future. I got to get them used to coming into my shop. Where the kids will go, mum, they're the greatest asset that any community, any business, I got to get them used to coming in. Well, we do a lot of community stuff. We're doing something today in Beechworth. They're pushing a barra up to Mount Buffalo today in Beechworth. But anyway, this is a fundraiser that Marty put on. Oh, shit, I was going to show you something there, but it's gone. But anyway, Marty, oh, God, oh, shit. Where'd that come from? Holy moly, God. I don't know why. I hope I'm on the right one now. Jeez. I'm really confused. I haven't seen them Sheilas for a while, but anyway. They're my managers. All women. Because they don't think with their little head. They're all women. But, anyway, there's a photo missing there, but use your imagination. Anyway, we do a lot of community stuff, and my staff get behind and they make it. Now I'm lost. I don't know what's. Like I said, the more I give, the more I get. Give little, receive little. Give more, receive more. I've heard it all here today. I'm so confused. They've asked me to sit in down there. I'm bloody sitting there taking all this stuff that you. Oh bloody! The more I give, the more I get in all areas of my life. I can guarantee that. I gotta keep bloody. I'll come into my bakery and Zach will say, doing 1,000 pies. I don't think you're not doing a bloody 1,000 pies. You're doing one. Everyone's a customer. I'll come in and I'll say, would you like your mother to buy that one? He'll say no, and I'll say, oh, bloody hell, then don't expect anyone else's mother to buy it then. All my staff are empowered. If they would not buy it themselves, they're not to sell it. I come in some days and they're chucking all this food in the bin. I think, gee, I'd sell it. I'd ice over the burnt bits. I'd cut them off. Geez, I got to go home again. I can only grow my business one pasty, one pie, one donut, one customer at a time. Everyone's a customer. If you wouldn't buy it, don't sell it. How bloody simple is that? If you wouldn't buy it, don't sell it.
Oh, my goodness. How bloody simple is that indeed? How you travelling, team? Don't say I didn't warn you. I said strap in at the start. He's on fire, isn't he? I thought it'd be time for a little break. We'd take a big breath. Maybe you grab a couple of cups of tea, really. And I thought we'd hear from two businesses that want to help build that beautiful business of yours into the empire it deserves to be. Support for this show comes from Web Central, who love building small businesses' websites that not only look great, but get you more customers. I asked Verity Ma, their Chief Marketing Officer, to share her top 3 business website must-haves that are simply non-negotiable.
The 3 must-haves for an effective website, I think, starts with a clear call to action. So when you get a visitor to that website, what do you want them to do? Also, the website needs to be mobile friendly because there's a huge growth in the number of visitors coming from their mobile, searching while they're out and about. And then finally, a professional design that reflects your brand. Because if you think about it, the first time that a potential client or customer interacts with your brand is on your website, they're going to have an immediate view of what your website does and whether you're trustworthy.
Web Central, helping you build trust online fast. Check out webcentral.com.au/Timbo for exclusive listener offers. The Small Business Big Marketing Show is also grateful for the support of Aussie-owned business DesignCrowd.com, the world's #1 custom design marketplace where it's beautifully simple and cheap. I love cheap. To get a design you love, guaranteed. I asked founder Alec Lynch what problems Design Crowd solved for us small business owners.
Buying design has traditionally been an expensive process, a slow process, and a risky process. Design Crowd's crowdsourcing solution fixes those problems.
DesignCrowd.com, a faster, cheaper, more creative way to get a custom logo, graphic, or print design for your business. For a special VIP offer that can save you up to $100 on your first design, visit designcrowd.com/Timbo. And now it's back to Australia's most famous baker, Tom O'Toole.
Look, we're all in this thing together, so let's try and get along. You know, teamwork works if you want it to work. You know, we're either pulling together or we're pulling apart. Front of house, back of house, head office. You just think of every element of your show, pulling together as one. Wow, nothing to stop you. You know, when we all work together, we all win together. So bloody, so none of us are strong as all of us. When we all work together, we all win together. So bloody simple. Lots of people do not do it. We do a lot of social functions. We'll hire a bus and take them to the movies in Albury. We don't have a movie theatre. You know, you can either wait for the future or you can get on the bus. And when you get on the bus, make sure everyone's going in the same bloody way. You know, we'll hire a bus, take them 10-pin bowling in Wodonga, 10-pin bowling. Well, I don't trust this thing. On the bigger nights, on the bigger nights, we get them to bring their partners along. And you know when you've been working with someone for quite a while and they bring their partner along and you think, shit, you're married to that. It's always a surprise. And then next year, don't ask next year. But I tell you what, these people are in charge of first impressions. You won't see me. I hide out the back. I live in Beechworth. They're in charge of first impressions. They and their families are my best marketers. Without them, I don't have a bloody show at all. Today, I have 255 of the buggers, and they're in charge. You know, if I want passionate, excited, motivated, this is quick, motivated staff, it's got to come from the top. It's got to come from, you know, culture is caught. Culture is caught. It's not taught. It's culture. You know, that's the Queen's birthday weekend. We have a lot of Queens and tarts at our place, I can tell you what. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. If I come to work having one of my pity parties, if I come to work with the shits, it just ripples right, and I love having pity parties. Oh, poor me, I got all the bills. Poor me, I got all the idiots. Poor me. Pour me a drink. You know, attitude is a mind's paintbrush. It can colour any situation. If I'm having a pity party, I'm better off to stay at home. But I love sharing it. Oh, I was over in America at a bakery conference. Love bakery conferences. And I said, what do you do at bakery conferences? Oh, we sit around and talk rubbish like you guys. But anyway, I was over there, and Anne from a donut shop, this is my shop here, but Anne from a donut shop was up on stage talking about how she had a slumber party, a sleepover for her staff. I said to my wife, we'll have a slumber party. She said, Tom, I think we'll get into trouble with a sleepover. A lot of my bakers have fantasies about flour bags. And now the paper, there's not much toe grip there. But anyway, I said, paper bags now. You're hessian in my day. Oh, good fun. Anyway, I said, we'll have a pyjama day. I got all excited about his pyjama day. I got in the paper, got in the radio, and about 3 days before the event, my supervisor, Jan Sinclair at the time, come up and said, Tom, no one is very happy about this pyjama day. I said, what are you bloody talking about? I got in the papers, I got in the radio, I said, find out why they're not happy. She come back and said, why aren't they happy? She said, none of them wear pyjamas. So I had to go down to Albury and I got a whole bootload of pyjamas, because we didn't have a clothes shop in Beechworth because I'd knocked a hole in the wall and taken it over. And there's some beautiful clothes shops in Beechworth today. Anyway, I got a whole bootload. And I got a couple of them Captain Snooze, like them Willy Winker outfits, and I put one on. And I got skinny white legs, and I'm running around with this outfit. And they thought the bugger's mad, he's going to do this. Though I didn't go in the shop, though. I didn't explain to my staff why I wanted them to come to work in their pyjamas. They just thought I was kinky. I wanted them to come to work in their pyjamas because I wanted them to get out of their comfort zone. It is so easy to go to work in your suits or overalls or whites or uniform. You try to go to work in pyjamas. Really breaks that pattern, really gets you out of your comfort zone. And on this day, any customer that comes in our shop in their pyjamas gets a free coffee and cake. Now, you'd be surprised what people do for free coffee and cake. Now, I thought this was going to be great, all these sexy negligees and everything, and look what we bloody got. We got all these bloody sexy. I tell you what, that customer got more than his money's worth. Now, this next guy was adamant that he did not wear pyjamas. I tell you what, this guy got me out of my comfort zone. I can tell you, this guy, we put him, he got me out of my, we stuck him out on the tables. He got lots of people out of their comfort zone. You know, he really broke the pattern. You know, them shoes really cracked up a lot of people. You know, I heard it today, everything you want is just outside your comfort zone. Everything you want is just outside your comfort comfort zone, just outside. Everything, just out. Cold core, everything is just out. Talk about outside of your comfort zone. Somebody else built this monstrosity, gigantic, humongous bakery in Ot'Toole, a bit over 2 hours away from Beechworth in Victoria, and they couldn't make it work. And after about 4 years, they were closing the door. And over that 4 years, they'd rang me up a few times and asked me, would I buy it? Oh, boogie, 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 too scary for me. Oh, we live in a land of opportunity. Well, let some other bugger have it. But anyway, we ended up buying it. Today, it's called Beechworth Bakery, Ot'Toole. I tell you what, the best way to avoid criticism is do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. If I believe that we live in a land of opportunity, I got to walk the talk. And people said, Tom, and it's so easy to talk the talk, but to walk it, God Almighty. You know, people said, Tom, you cannot duplicate what you've done in Beechworth. I don't know whether they said God said that's the square meterage, that's where it's all going to happen in Beechworth. This place will end up beating Beechworth. When we took it on, it was turning over 300,000 turnover for the year. Today, in excess of 3 million cash over the counter. You know, when opportunity knocks, get up and answer the door. If you stand still to watch the world go by, it will. You're going to be dead a long time. Get up and answer that door. Get up. Oh, I tell you what, I'm scared the hell of this thing. We got a shop in a centre in the Myers Centre in Albury, and the oven caught fire. This is about 4 years ago now, and we had 3 fire trucks there. They were evacuating the bloody centre. And when we reopened, Sam went out and bought these hats at Toyland and Toy World, and they had fire sales. They had red hot deals. They made the best of a bad opportunity. They made the best. You know, ever since that fire, our figures are gone dramatic. Well, I wouldn't suggest a fire to anyone, but train them. Train them, don't blame them. No train, no gain. Luckily, Sam had been trained in how to use a fire extinguisher. She put the bloody fire out and she was a hero. Train them, don't blame them. Train them, bloody hell, this thing goes, this is touchy. Oh, geez, I got it then. That Barry, talk about training them. This guy at 69 years of age asked could he do a 4-year apprenticeship. Hope he makes it. You know, hire for attitude, train for skill. Hire for will and train for skill. Hire people that are willing to learn. Hire people that are willing to do that little bit extra. Hire for will and train for skill. You know, some people are old at 28. Some people aren't old at 88. You know, don't let an old person in. The essence of all growth is that willingness to learn, that willingness. Barry has finished his apprenticeship. He now drives the oldies around and takes them off to anyway. But anyway, productivity, nothing worthwhile is ever achieved without that collective spark of enthusiasm. These business people who check out my business, they say to me, Tom, your staff are so good, so good. What do you look for when you employ your staff? I said, long legs, big personalities. Enthusiasm. If your heart's in it, the sky's the limit. Get in there. Boots and all, 100%. Enthusiasm. It's like measles and mumps. Highly contagious. Look, I tell you what, if you're not living the life you want, check your bloody level of enthusiasm. If you're not getting what you want out of life, check your level of enthusiasm. That's the secret ingredient. But Josh said they're a bit slow, so that's it. Get in there, boots and all, 100% enthusiasm. It's like measles, highly contagious. Buddy, I'm taking this photo of Diane. She started with me when she was 16 in Western Australia. She's 52 in March. Anyway, I'm taking this photo and this customer said, hey, what about me? You know, my number one customers are my staff. If I've got happy staff, I'll have happy customers and the money will pour in. You might think bullshit. Well, it works for me. I'm as thick as a brick. But if I have happy staff, I have happy customers and I keep making bloody money. You know, your job's got to be braggable. Your bloody product's got to be braggable. Your team's got to be braggable. Your brand's got to be braggable. You got to talk it up. No one else is going to do it for you. It's got to be braggable. You got to talk it out. No one else is bloody going. Every day my bakers have got to get out of their comfort zone and come out and see where the money is. This is where the money is, out in the bloody shop, not in the office, not sitting at home playing the big, it's out here, it's in them trucks, it's out there. This is where the money is. When they're so shit scared, they come in 2s and 3s. Yet it looks very different from where the customer's standing. Looks very bloody different. Oh, for years and years and years, we all come to work through the back door. Today, everyone has to come to work through that front door and see it through the customer's eyes. You know, we become shop blind, town blind, community blind. We become blind to the opportunities that are right at our feet. We're so busy wasting all our bloody energy looking over here, looking over there, look at the grass always looks greener. Be bloody careful because that's often where the sewerage comes out. You know, I was always looking for a softer, easier way. I don't know a softer, easier way except getting off my arse and having a go. You know, Helen Keller said worse than being blind is to see but have no vision. That vision, go beyond your own backyard to realise how bloody good we've got it here in Australia. You know, like I travel heaps. I've been to quite a few countries this year already. You know, you got to keep looking at your business and your life with fresh eyes. And that is one of the greatest things about the conference. That's why you've got bloody eight franchisees, whatever, they should be here. But I'm talking to the converted. You know, this is where the strength is, like what the guy said here, this big turd, anyway, it's about working together. It's about that the strength. None of us are strong as all of us. You know, together anything is possible. But if you're not here, it's not going to happen. Conferences give you that chance to go back and look at your business with fresh eyes. It is so bloody important, so important. You've got to keep looking at your business and your life with fresh eyes. Oh, I'd come back from Sydney or Singapore or Germany with a whiz-bang bit of equipment, always looks better on the showroom floor, and my staff would slowly use it, and when I'm not looking, they'd stick it in the corner. And today, I get them emotionally involved in the process. I cannot introduce change with a memo or a newsletter. Have to get them emotionally involved, Oh, this is a simple Simon pie machine made in Sydney. It's about $100,000, whatever. Anyway, we wanted to go to this system. And so we sent 4 of our staff to Sydney. 2 had never been to Sydney, 2 had never been on a plane. And we have a couple of these machines and they love them. They took that ownership. This is a biscuit machine. We used to wind the handle, it's a wire cut. And I've seen a much better one in New Zealand. It's an English machine. And sent Alan over. Alan never been on a plane, never been out of the country. And they pumped the biscuits out. They love it. They took that ownership, We do a lot of trade shows with our staff. Always looking, there's always a better way. Always looking for out there to do it better. This is over in Las Vegas. I just dropped in because it's a tax deduction. You know, they were supposed to be working, the pricks. But anyway, all my staff have access to my figures. Now, people find that really strange, especially in the baking game. We're in the cash industry. But how, how do you like to watch a football game without the goalpost? Got to give them the goalpost. Got to get them emotionally involved in the process. They run the show. You got to get them emotionally involved. Got to get them. This thing we do a lot of corporate hampers, and we do hundreds of these Christmas trees, but we do thousands of handmade Christmas cakes. Now, when we first started to do this Christmas cakes, the dream takers told me, Tom, you can't sell Christmas cake. Big W give them away. Lions own the market. It's a mature market. I just didn't wake up one morning and say I'm going to have a market for Christmas cakes. I had to get on my bike and pedal like buggery. It is not easy being in business. Never has been, never bloody will be. You know, all things are difficult before it's easy. My job is never going to get any easier. I just got to get better, because if I ain't getting better, I can guarantee my competition will be. I got to remain teachable. I got to keep getting bloody better. It's very lonely in business, very lonely, and that is with the strength of being in a franchise. You're not lonely. You guys, you don't. It can be very, very lonely, very lonely. Oh, jeez. That's Belinda in Ballarat. Roger, our sales trainer. Matt, he's useless. We went to the Disney Institute in California, in Anaheim, and the Disney Institute runs people management, customer service, marketing, and they take you behind the scenes with Mickey, missed out on Minnie, take you behind the scenes. And I graduated from the Disney Institute. Now, I got this son of mine who's a doctor, he's a scientist, professor, whatever. Look at the PhD, and look at a boring hat. Look at that, and look at that bloody oath. My hat's much better, but I reckon. Anyway, I shouldn't say I'm a kindergarten dropout. I graduated from the Disney Institute. because they graduated too. People say, oh, my staff are my biggest asset. Well, if they are, invest in them and invest in yourself. I tell you what, if I sit at home and isolate and talk to myself, I will get bad advice. I've tried it. You sit at home and isolate and talk to yourself and see what you bloody get. There's a couple of your mates sitting at home talking, bagging yous now, I tell you, getting the oath. Oh, yeah, look at that boring Peter. Oh, without stress, my life would be empty. Look, there's nothing permanent except change. And you know what? Nothing changes if nothing changes. And before anything will change, I've got to change my attitude, my outlook. But I'm waiting for all these buggers out here to get their act together. It doesn't matter what's happening out there. As long as between my ears is okay, it doesn't matter. There's nothing permanent except change. Embrace it or be left behind. You cannot get new results with old habits. Change is essential for growth. Change will happen whether you bloody like it or not. Change is essential. Talk about change. I sold a big part of my business to a few of my staff, and I had to buy it back because they weren't hungry enough. But Marty was. Marty now has 25% of the company, and I have 75% of liabilities. You know, one of the hardest things I've had to do in small business is to learn to let go and let somebody else have a go. Marty's young, he's hungry, he's passionate, he's in a hurry, and he doesn't want some grey-haired old bugger in his way. And I said to Marty, I said, well, what's my job? He said, Tom, you're the founder. I said, what does that mean? He said, you're like Colonel Sanders, you're a cardboard cutout figure and you're dead. Marty was my young apprentice. Marty was my young apprentice. You know, one ship, one captain. One ship, you got two with Joss and Alana, haven't you? One ship, one captain. You buddy. You know, people said, how'd you pick Marty? He was teachable. He was hungry. He's prepared to get out of his comfort zone. He was teachable. You know, business is pretty simple. It's mostly about people. Business is pretty simple. It's mostly about bloody people. It's mostly about people. And leadership. Dare to lead. Dare to lead. When you're placed in charge, take charge. Oh, shit, no, I'm not going to stick my head out. I'm not going to voice my opinion. I'm not going to sit up here. Oh, God. Dare to lead. When you're placed in charge, it's the learners. It's the learners. They're the ones who are going to inherit the future. If you finish learning, you're buggered. If you finish learning, you're finished. When placed in charge, take charge. Marty took last year off. And Joe and his two kids, they travel around Australia. And I was coming back from East Timor, and he rang me up, and I said, where are you? He said, I'm coming up from Catherine. I said, I'm in Darwin. So we went, and I took this photo out in Kakadu, because I'm redundant now that the snow's on the roof. They reckon a fire's gone out, and I'm not allowed, and I'm redundant. But anyway, but it ran without him. Holly is our general manager. She got married last Saturday, so she's stuffed. But no, she's great. She's great. Oh, that's Sarah. She's only 26. That's Sarah. She's the manager at Bendigo. She's the Bendigo. Laura is the manager at Albury. She's 23, maybe 24 now, and she's the oldest staff member in Albury. You know, good management is good management, whatever generation, whatever. All my managers are women, except Marty. You know, they take that ownership, they really make it happen. And it wasn't always like that. I used to have so you guys, half of you are on the way out. I used to know you're not the boss, most of you aren't anyway, but they're in charge. When placed in charge, take charge. My business runs without me. My business, everyone, I live in Beechworth, but my business runs without me. It has for years and years and years. And it ran without Marty last year. I thought, oh, God, when he told me, he was planning it for a couple of years. And I thought, oh, God, this is scary, you know. But anyway, they took ownership, made it happen. Oh, this is Keith, the guy who samples in the shop. He's a retired psych nurse. He looks after me. Keith goes out one day a week within 100 kilometres of Beechworth with these coffee vouchers. He goes out to the motels and B&Bs in Tang Bang, Malanga, Yakandana, Barna, Port Punka, Wandillagong, Cheshunt, Benalio. When we first started to do this, the motelier says, well, what do we do with the coffee vouchers? Well, when you get a customer in, shout them a coffee at Beechworth. Well, they're probably not going to Beechworth. Well, look, every bugger's after my dollar. Every service station, every supermarket, the Great Ocean Road, the Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast, Byron Bay, every bugger's after my dollar. If I just sit on my ass and expect people to give me money, I am bloody silly and I bloody look. I got to get out there and pedal like buggery, pedal like... Well, here's Keith in Venice, handing out coffee vouchers. Now, I don't know what that's about. I don't know what's about. I'm bugging if I know. But anyway, Keith and I were going to take this 1930 A model Ford No doors, no seatbelts, no sat-nav, no support crew. We're going to take it to the tip of Australia. 4,000 kilometres up, 4,000 back. But 850 kilometres of dirt, corrugations, rivers, sand, four-wheel drive only. And we start heading up to Cape York. And every good Samaritan kept waving us down. Stop, stop, stop. You guys are psycho. You won't make it. You don't know what's ahead. Then other people would wave us down. Stop, stop, stop. The road gets better. They lied. We made it to the tip of Cape York. Keep in touch with your dreams. Don't let anyone steal your day. We met so many dream takers on that trip who told us we wouldn't make it. And they were nearly right a few times too. Winners must have two things: definite goals and burning desires. Definite goals, not bloody fuzzy goals. Definite. And you got that fire in the belly. You got to keep stoking that fire. You got to keep If you're not feeling the heat from the fire, chuck a couple of logs on. Go to a seminar. He's wanting me to get off this prick, I tell you what. Oh, you better go quick now. You got to have to listen quicker. Anyway, winners must have two definite goals. Set the goals and enjoy the journey. Set the goals and enjoy the journey. It's got to be fun. If it ain't fun, there's something wrong with what you're doing. You've got to enjoy the journey. Talk about enjoying the journey. We're going to take these 2 bathtubs from Albury down to Goolwa in South Australia, down the Murray River, over 2,000 kilometres down the Murray River. Everyone said, Tom, you need a map. You need a map. I said, I don't need a map. I'm just going to follow the Murray River. Where do you expect me to end up in Kakadu? And the day we're heading off from Noriel Park, my wife turned up with a map. Thank God she did, because there was clay banks, there was rock banks, there was dead-end stream, there was 12 locks, there was mud banks. We would not have made it to South Australia without a map. You cannot drift your way to success. You cannot drift your way to a better business. You need a plan, you need a map, you need goals. You cannot drift your way to a better business. We're promoting Lifeline here. Shit happens, call Lifeline. Here's Lifeline. We're on the front page of every regional paper all the way down to South Australia. Goals give me that purpose and direction. Without goals, I just drift along. And, goals, when I write out my goals, it holds me accountable. And I hate being held accountable. But when I write a goal down, it makes a statement to me that I refuse to be. In all things I've learned in business, and I've been in business 40-something years, goal setting has had the most profound effect on my life. Goals hold me accountable. Goals give me that purpose and direction. Without goals, I'm just bloody drifting. That's the only difference between me and my brothers, and they think they're still living in the... Anyway, we thrive on South Australia. The more I give in my community, the more I get. The more I give at home, the more I get. Maybe I should work on that. But I got to push the brand all the time. Push the bloody brand. No one else is going to do. This is at the Henty Field Day. 3 weeks ago at the Henty Field Day. I took the girl out from Scotland, Talia. She come out to Scotland. This is that. Anyway, we got to push that brand. This is Tim Fisher, the former Prime Minister of Australia. Every January, we take the opera singers, opera in the Alps. It's in Beechworth in January. You got to go quick, because that guy's going to pull the plug his head. Anyway, and we drive 5,000 people and we pushing that brand all the time. We run Tim Fisher up to the buddy audience. Here it is, a great Victorian bike ride. Here's Mr. Abbott. He come to visit our baker. I said, here, Mr. Abbott, here's a real bike for you. You got to keep pedaling. Life's like a bike. The harder the pedal, the further you go. Life's like a bike. What are you famous for? Leaders celebrate. You get what you celebrate. Celebrate what you want to see more. How have you increased productivity in the last 6 weeks, in the last 6 months? You got to be bold and brave. Who wants to follow a dickhead into battle? You got to be bold and bloody brave. Let's celebrate. My staff wanted to have a street carnival for our 30th birthday, and they closed off the street. And I thought, this ain't going to happen, because we had to get all the shopkeepers to agree. We had to get Vic Roads to agree. We had to get the council to agree. Anyway, they made it happen. We had bloody people everywhere. Everything was free. We had pie income. We had tug of wars. We had bike races. We had ballet dancers. We had Stella. Oh, that's Belinda. You don't know that. But we had the Blues Brothers. We had a petting zoo. Should have put some of them in front of the buddy in the pies. But we had the Giant Bakery. We had the buddy Giant Baker. We had lots of fun. you get what you celebrate. Celebrate what you want to see more. You know, so many Me Too businesses out there, Me Too people, Me Too, Me Too, me. Look, if you're not determined, utterly, totally determined to get out of your comfort zone and do that little bit extra, you're bloody history. There's no excitement in being average. There's no excitement in being bloody average. Oh, people say, oh, Tom, I haven't got time. It's not lack of time. It is lack of focus. It is lack of priority. You know, we've all got 24 hours in a day. It is not lack of time. These are our smell fans. They pick up the smells from the oven and blow it out into the street. And when we burn something, we've got to turn the buggers off real quick. These people are sitting out the front thinking, geez, I'll have another of them. It's the smells, it's the smiles, it's the thank yous, it's the little things that make the big difference. Yet we're all looking for that big fix. Oh, St. Patrick's Day, kiss me, I'm Irish, green bread. Look, I don't have a problem with new ideas. I have a problem with old ones. My head is so full of bloody old ideas, no room for the new ones. Got to get rid of the old ideas. Oh, this is about communication, but I'm going to give it a miss because that guy will pull the bloody plug up there. Because any time I got a problem in my business, it is from lack of communication. Oh, smile and the world smiles with you. Now, we don't get many international visitors in Beechworth. We're getting a few more now. But when we do, we know that everyone smiles in the same language. You know, the most important thing you can wear is your expression. If you're happy, tell your face. If you're happy, tell your face. Take a bloody wrist smile. I know it's a wrist for some of you, but that's my first wife. I know, at least she's smiling. I wear them out. You know, your day goes the way your corner of your mouth goes. Your day goes the way, if you see somebody without a smile, give them one. It'll cost you bloody nothing. Goal setting is the strongest force in the world of human motivation. Like I said, when I started to write out my goals and date them, changed my life. Got to be on paper, not on this planet. That momentum, once you're moving in the directions of your goals, nothing can stop you. And like I said, goals are just dreams with a date. But I tell you what, goals do not matter. Goals do not matter if you're going nowhere. Go somewhere, get that momentum and go somewhere. Oh, thank God. I know where I'm up to. Nearly finished. This prick up there, he can't wait. Anyway, we opened up this bakery in Hillsville in the Yarra Valley, about 3 hours away from Beechworth, and we asked the Federal Minister for Small Business and Tourism, Fran Bailey, would she open our bakery? And the Federal Minister said, yes, Tom, I will. Me mate said, how do you get the bloody Federal Minister to open up your pissy little bakery? How much did it cost you? I said, I'd give a cup of coffee and a few cakes. They said, how'd you get her there? I said, we just asked. And that's often what we don't do. We just don't often ask. I need help. I need a hand. Our pride and our ego stops us for asking for help. Pride is tasteless, odourless, sizeless, yet we can't swallow it. You want something? Ask for it. They tell me you can increase your odds of bloody getting the business 200% just by asking. Just bloody ask. You want something? Ask for it. How profound. Whoa, shit. The greatest sin is sitting on your ass and look at you. If it's to be, it's up to me. No, it's up to Joss, it's up to Dennis, it's up to bloody James. Well, I have to bloody got some other bugger to do it for. If it's to be, it's up to me. I'm bloody responsible. Tomorrow's success begins today, and you've only got so many tomorrow. Look, like I heard this guy, don't wait till you're bloody organised. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. When are you going to be organised? 2 years' time? 5 years' time? It's crap. You're either going to do it or you're not. Don't wait till you're bloody organised. The secret of getting ahead is getting started. What is success? I've been wrote up on magazines. I've been on TV shows. What is success? You know, I was brought up in poverty. Mum, Dad, the 5 kids, the 7 of us, all slept in that tent together there. Dirt floors, no electricity. That little asbestos sheeted kitchen, dirt floors, no electricity. When the tent started, right, Dad, it was a timber frame tent. Put a bit of tin sheeting on the roof. I was brought up in poverty. I ended up getting a big 2-storey house on the beach and the Jag and the land, and ended up sticking a load of gun in my mouth. So what is success for me today? Success for me today is being a good husband and a good father. Just love them. Don't judge them. Don't check them out on Facebook. Just love them. Today's success for me today is being a good grandfather. Just love them, spoil them, stir them up and hand them back. Just love them. Today's success for me today is having peace of mind. I used to go to work every day with a football of fear in my guts and a can of worms going up here worrying about next week, next month, next year. God, talk about kangaroos in the back paddock. Without peace of mind, there's no success. But what is success for Tom O'Toole? Success for me is being able to live the life the way I choose. And I choose to be a baker in rural Australia. That is success for me. I don't know what success is for you. I wouldn't have a bloody clue. But whatever it is, climb as high as you can dream. Climb as high as you can dream. Why not? And why not now? God almighty, why not now? A lot of people say it's my product. A lot of people say it's my marketing. I tell you what, you can have the best product and the best marketing. But without good people, I am rat shit. They're my biggest asset, also my biggest cost. So I've got to make sure they're well trained. 5% technology, 95% psychology and attitude. They're my biggest investors. They invest their time, their energy, their imagination into the Beechworth Bakery. Without them, I don't have a bloody show. Like I said, you can buy coffee and cake from anywhere. Why buy from my place? Because of these buggers. And now I've got more of the buggers. Heads on them like bloody mice. You know, my future depends on well-trained, passionate, committed people. My future depends on them. You know, I get by with a little help from my friends. It's all about people. It's all about product. It's all about passion. Together we better. None of us do it alone. None of us do it alone. None of us. You know, I got 2 more to go. People can alter their lives by altering their attitude. It's all about attitude, George. It's all about attitude. And action, like ready, aim. Ready, aim. Ready, aim. Bullshit. Ready, aim. Fire. Ready, aim. Fire. Not ready, aim. Ready, aim. You know, all the knowledge in the world is worth a pinch of cow dung, unless you're willing to get off your bum and have a go. People can alter their lives by altering their attitude. Look, it doesn't matter what your past has been. Every one of us has a clean future. You know, you can starve to death by reading a cookbook. You need that action. You need that commitment. All the praying, all the preaching, all the talking, all the debating just won't do it. Words are just words until we choose to live them. You need that action. You need that commitment. You can starve to death by reading. This is my last one. I do have another 447, but attitudes are contagious. Are yours worth catching? There's always a better way. The future's right here. You're it. The future. I tell you what. The believers in this life pick up the prizes. Have a belief in your team. Have a belief in your industry. Have a belief in yourself. The believers in this life pick up the prizes. And I believe the best is yet to come. If I didn't believe the best is yet to come, I wouldn't get out of bed in the morning. Look, have a nice day and a nice feather, and I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Got a text from people down on the main beach. They just want to thank you for your presentation. They've got a couple of questions. You'll be open for questions. They're coming up now. They're getting a cab. Unbelievable. What do I say? Tom O'Toole, Beechworth Bakery. Woo. There you go. Tom O'Toole, Australia's most famous. Actually, make that Australia's most infamous baker. How'd you go with all that? You still with me? It's a long episode, I get that. But hopefully there was massive marketing value in there. Normally I do a top 3 attention grabbers, 3 things that grab my attention. Given Tom is so prolific in the quotes that he shares, I actually have written down 15 of them, but I'm only going to share 3. I'll put the others in the show notes because it would just be a bit over the top to share them all, and you've probably got your own. But 3 quotes that really drew my attention. Number 1, study happiness. What a great idea. I was having a bit of an off day only yesterday. I couldn't get out of my own way. So I went and listened to a couple of inspiring podcasts, not around business, just stuff that would uplift me. Yeah? And I immediately felt better. That was my way of studying happiness, but I think that's a wonderful idea. Another quote that Tom said, if you wouldn't buy it, don't sell it. I love that. Look at what you're offering. And if it's not up to your standard, that you wouldn't buy it, then why are you selling it to other people? I like that. And a third quote that grabbed my attention, be braggable. Push your brand all the time because no one else will. So true. Keep pushing your brand all the time. Don't feel as though people are getting sick of it. You might be getting sick of it because you're the owner and the marketer, but others aren't. Be relentless in pushing your brand, team. All right, so that's what grabbed my attention. 15 other quotes. I'm going to put them over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/336. I really would love to hear what you thought of that interview. As I said, wasn't going to run it because, he's full on. But I reckon there was marketing GOLD in there. So let me know your thoughts. smallbusinessbigmarketing.com/336. That almost wraps up another episode of the Small Business Big Marketing Show. Coming up next week, we hear from a fellow who's changing the way we shop for clothes. It's going to be pretty interesting. He's got a very interesting business model that's killing it. But do you remember a while back, I chatted with James Tostovan, who's been ranked Australia's #1 residential real estate agent 2 years in a row. The guy is an absolute marketing and sales machine. So I couldn't help but ask him, what is he yet to master?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't think I've ever been asked that, Tim. I think probably for me, I think I'm genuinely very balanced in terms of my approach, especially with the holidays. I think the thing that I probably find difficult to master is the ability to be sometimes in the moment. I have to focus hard whether I'm, with my family or my children and that sort of thing. That's a challenge, the best of times, because I can sometimes feel I'm not quite present. I've got too many things that are swirling around the brain. So that would be something that I'm not sure. I hate admitting to weaknesses, but...
Good on you, James, for being so honest. I think most of us can admit to not being present all the time. I certainly can. Been meaning to lock in some mindfulness training one day. It's on Someday Island, I'll get to it someday. Might lock that in today, actually. Hey, to hear my full interview with James, plus hundreds more, head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, or I'd love you to subscribe for free on iTunes or your favourite podcast catcher. And I'd love to hear what you love or don't love about the show. I'm always open to improvement, so you can send me an email, tim@timreid.com.au. Be sure to check out designcrowd.com/Timbo. They're an ideal way to get any marketing touch points designed for that beautiful business of yours, so it can be turned into the empire it deserves to be. You with me? Plus, there's an exclusive listener offer waiting for you that you can save up to $100 on. And remember, if you want your website to deliver results, then don't do it yourself. Because you are who Google says you are, remember? Check out Web Central's Do It For Me, aka DIFM website package over at webcentral.com.au/Timbo. If you love the Small Business Big Marketing Show, pay it forward. Tell someone about it. I'd love that. Until next week, I'm Timbo Reid. Thanks for listening to the Small Business Big Marketing Show. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.